So, so for today's video, we're gonna be going over a brand new, well, not a brand new show. I've really been watching it since, since it started. Mm. And some of you guys will be familiar with it, cause I had a season 1, and this is season 2. But overall, it's not really a big anime. I would say it's more wholesome. Like if you watch it, there's no conflict or anything. We're just seeing like pretty much a guy who gets essentially reincarnated. And then he's in a way he's been blessed by the gods, and he just builds out his place of home, and then he builds family, and then eventually becomes mayor. And that's what we see in season 2. You see him essentially, step in that role of mayor. Because, if you guys saw season 1, it was mostly about him, like, um, building the actual things he needs. And then, like, him getting a family too. But now, it's mostly about him, like, fulfilling that role of mayor. And him, like, dealing with a bunch of other people. Because we do get introduced to a bunch of, new species in the series. So he has that thing to deal with. But the reason I chose today to make the video is because in today's episode, and it kind of touched a little on this last episode, was that we got introduced to like bunch of gods. Like if you saw the episode today, I think it's on my thumbnail, but there's like we were introduced to a bunch of gods, and then we were also introduced, like there was like for some reason, hopefully they get more into this, but we also get introduced that like 40 to 100 years ago there was like a battle between the gods, between one god and like pretty much all of them, 1v20 situation. And then obviously the solo guy was the guy who fought alone. Obviously he lost. Then he was trapped. If you saw the episode, like he says like, oh, because of that I was entrapped in this planet, pretty much. And that's what I want them to kind of explain, like why in the first place. Like, I just want to learn more about this background of this world, and like why. Like first, like my first question would be obviously like, why did this particular god feel the need to um, pretty much go against everyone? I wanna learn about that. I want also the episode kind of touched on this briefly, but apparently there's like 8 more gods, and you know just I would just like to know more about them pretty much, essentially. We are introduced to 8 gods, um, and yeah, I just would like to know more about this world. Um, but yeah, it was like he made it sound very interesting. Like there's a bunch of other gods, and they essentially I want to know why they ganged up on this one god, and why did this one god? Why did he start something with the other gods? Like, was there something that couldn't he couldn't really talk to them about? He had to resort to violence, and then eventually him like fighting. Cause like I'm not gonna lie, I could see like a way or path where like our MC, because you, you find out also in the episode that he the god that was entrapped, he kind of essentially like for some he lost his memories and turned into a cat, and then we see that same cat, or he took shelter with the MC, and the MC is clueless. So I wonder, like, you know, if there is a season 3, or maybe later in the series, that there's a time period where RMC, like, he kind of finds out like who the cat really is, and the cat, you know, explains his reasoning of like why he went against the gods, and like I can see them like them both teaming up so they can go against the gods that we already know. Because like I said, we don't really know why this whole thing started. So what if like RMC kind of like agrees with them, like, you know, like, I'll help you fight the other gods. Mm. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. I just wanted to do a video about the episode, but overall, really liked the episode, and I don't know, I may continue making reviews, or I might just watch it. I don't know. But I think I'm gonna end it here. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.